Pika, I'm so sorry. This video is a mess. I barely had an idea and I woke up like 20 minutes ago. So this is, I'm sorry, Pika, I'm sorry. Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm doing awful. Well, in the moment, my lower back really hurts, and it's just something that happens. Hooray for back surgery. If you have been unprivy to this information, I too like to write and not just review writings. So I'm a writer, and I see writing videos on the internet, and every time I watch one, I'm always like, who the fuck are you to boss me around? Even though I clicked on the video, these poor people, I don't know why I do this, because they know more than me, and I generally take their advice. This is not going to be an informational video. This is going to be a progress report, a journey, the first step in the journey, I guess. I want to go over my editing process. That in my editing process as it stands today, April 17th, 3 days from 420. Happy 420! I'm writing a short story called The Janitors, the hospital. As you've seen previously on my channel, I have announced one other writing project. Unfortunately, that writing project is shelved, and I have learned my lesson to not announce writing projects until the rough draft has been completed. Woo! Ba 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 ba! The Janitors rough draft has been completed, and it's right here in this handy dandy notebook. You see? The Janitors. So I'm going to talk about my editing process, specifically with the Janitors. I'm not done with this yet. I have done the rough draft. I am in the middle of the first edit. I don't really have a release date. I thought, I was under the impression that maybe I could get it done by the beginning of April. And then I forgot, conveniently, that I'm tragically mentally ill and I can't do that. So it'll be completed when it is completed, and I will let you know where you can read it for free, because fuck charging shit. I will detail the process of how I've gotten from no thing to thing. And it all starts with Dying Light 2. I find that my inspiration for most of my projects come from the weirdest places. But this is an idea that has been stewing in my brain for a really long time of like, if I was in a zombie apocalypse, why are people just not getting rid of all the zombies? And I get it. In a World War Z type scenario, a lot of zombies would be really hard to get rid of. So that idea has been stewing because I love zombie content and all of that cool, fun, nasty stuff. But the idea has been in the back of my brain of like, just why not just drop rocks from a high place on several zombies' heads? And then I was playing Dying Light 2 with my partner, Justin. We were playing Dying Light 2, and in Dying Light 2, there are these hospitals that are like little dungeons, and when you clear out this hospital, there's no more zombies anymore. That got me thinking, what if there is a group of people who did that? And that is how the idea of the Janitors was born. No, the Janitors is not about a group of rogue janitors fucking shit up and then cleaning it. It's about a bunch of, so I guess 8 people fucking up zombies in apocalypse and cleaning it up afterwards. So what do I do with this idea? The idea that there's a group of people, because I didn't have any names or anything. What did I do with this group of people? This idea, the group of people. Hello, group of people. I love you. They didn't exist yet. They were a nameless, faceless group. So how did I get from nameless, faceless group to the group that I have fallen in love with and I cannot wait until I pair them off and marry them with each other? So I started writing, and the first thing this was the line that came to me as I thought of like, what do I want to do with my life? I'm going to write this story. That's what I'm going to do. I thought of this line. I'm sure you know this by now, but the fall of society happens quickly. That's the first line of the story. Congratulations, you know the first line of my short story. And then I just continued going and writing. And the thing about my writing, this process, I am what one may call a pantser. I don't usually write with an outline. I have before, and I do have a project that's like 2/3 completed with an outline that eventually I will get to. Again, it's a really heavy book. It's about serial killers, and not the fun kind. Normally when I write things, I kind of just keep on going, and if I have an event that I want to happen later, I will write that down and be like, don't forget, this thing happens. Remember to write that in. So I started out with this pretty much faceless androgynous person, because that's kind of all of my main characters is a faceless androgynous person, and then I dress them up later. This faceless androgynous person's name is Moss, because I thought Moss is a funny name. I like it. This person's non-binary. Will we ever address it? No, because we don't have to. Why do I need to address it? They're just canonically non-binary, and everybody in the world accepts it, because who fucking cares? There are zombies outside. So I started out with this person named Moss, and I kind of kept going from there. And then, I was like, all right, so what do I need? Is Moss the leader of the group? Absolutely not. Cannot be. You want to know why? Because this other person named Harbier is the person who's in charge of the group. And Harbier is a sick person. Not like coughing, but like the religion. SIHK. And I've done a lot of research into Sikhism. One of these days I'm going to go talk to a sick person and be like, hey, can you read this? And make sure I'm doing it right? And then I just kept on going and going and going, and I wrote 2,000 to 4,000 words a day until it was done. This project at the end of the end of the rough draft phase was 12,000 words, and I did it over the span of a week, which is the fastest I think I've written any idea down. Let me make sure. Yeah, no, I lied to you. It was 14,000 words. So now I have a group of people that was 10, and then I got rid of 2 characters because I didn't like them, so I got rid of them, and they will probably be added later. I added some side characters, because what is a story without side stories? Then I was finished with the rough draft, and then I read back through it and wondered why anybody let me have a pencil, because it was garbage. Like any true author, I think my work is awful. So now I'm starting the editing process, and the first thing I did when I knew that I was going to start editing was I got this wee little binder, which is pretty cheap at Walmart. And I have a printer. I don't know why, but I have one. I printed out all of it double-spaced. And I also got fancy pins and highlighters. So that way, you see, I got rid of a lot. I got rid of a lot and added a lot. I write really small. Can you tell? I write really small. My advice to you, I'm not telling you what to do. First off, I'm not telling you what to do. My advice to you, whenever you are editing, don't be attached to big chunks of words. You can be attached to lines. There's a lot of lines that I like. One of the lines that I like that I haven't re-added that I'm going to is called, I say, just know that I, the mighty narrator, survived. Because I thought that was a funny line. I'm attached to that line. That paragraph got deleted. What other lines I don't think I have any other good lines that I am super attached to. My next advice, remember, I'm not telling you what to do, just advice. When you are editing a thing, try to divide it into chunks. even if it's a chapter, try to divide it into like parts. Like I have the intro, and the intro is, where is it? And I marked it. I marked in my head where the first part was, which was the intro, which now there's the intro, the beginning, the middle, the end. Nobody tells you about the intro part, and the intro part is supposed to sell you on this piece of work. You need to work on that, and you need to know what your intro is. Like, you need to be able to go, yes, this first few paragraphs, intro. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you advice, and my advice is very much focus on the intro. So I have the end of part 1, which do you want to see how much writing I did? Okay, so this is the cover page. So I have this page, this, and that. And as you can see, I just rewrit the whole thing. It's all rewrote now. Look, part 2. I didn't write down the intro part. Part 2 is right here. So I recommend that I've always done this in editing, but I recommend dividing it into chunks that are easy to manage, because editing is such a daunting process, especially line editing, line editing is where you go line by line, which me and my friend Johnny have already done the intro line by line, and I still want to do it again. But it's where you go line by line and you go, that word, I used that word too many times. Take this word out. And you really work on flow. Flow is really important in writing. Flow is like the CGI of writing. You don't want to know it's there, because a lot of films use CGI, especially in like cityscapes and stuff like that, and they look great. The thing is, if you can tell it's CGI, it's bad CGI. If you can tell the flow is bad. So that's my editing process so far. I don't do all of my editing in one stint like I do my first writing. I found this quote by Novelpad, I don't think it's by Novelpad. They tweeted it on Twitter. When writing a first draft, I have to remind myself constantly that I'm only shoveling sand into a box so I can build castles. Remember, when you're doing your first draft, just keep writing and don't stop. Don't stop for a second. Don't stop to breathe. Don't stop to pee. We're on this ride all the way to California, and we're not turning this ship around. No, no, no. When you are writing your draft, you keep going like you're on so much crack. Don't be on crack. It's bad for you. But it's like you're on crack. You give yourself an almost impossible goal, so that way you can reach it, or you are almost there, so that way you can get done faster. Because the faster you get that first draft done, the faster you can do the worst part in writing, which is editing. I actually like editing a lot, because a lot of my first draft kind of thoughts are not great. Reading back on the first draft, I would love to show you snippets of the first draft whenever I am like completely done with the story, because I think it's really interesting to see like where it started and where it ended. And the thing is, whenever you first read what I am writing at the beginning, I don't know where the fuck I'm going for at least 2,000 to 5,000 words. For at least 10 pages, I have no idea who my characters are. I have no idea what we're doing. I have no idea where we're going. All I know is that we are a part of a settlement of some kind, and that the leader of this settlement gave our group a job, and we're going to prove ourselves, and that's what we're going to do. That's what I knew. Other than that, no idea. And I made up the conflicts as we went. And then I didn't know halfway who was friends with who and all that other stuff. Like, the group dynamic hadn't been established yet until like the last third of my story. I like editing because I like being able to see where I was, and then now I know where I want to go. Like, I know where it ends now. Usually I know where things end. I can't tell you where this story ends because that's really big spoilers. But I know where this story ended. I didn't know how to get there, and I carved my very shambly, rickety way there, and now we're here. So I've already kind of explained what the premise of the story is. The job for this group is called the hospital. Good job, me. Woo! How am I gonna sell this to you? You know what? I think by rambling about zombies and a group wanting to take them all out, it's essentially a zombie hunter story. So I think that sells it good enough. I will likely release this on AO3 at first until I figure out how to put it on a site that isn't a fan site to where you can kind of just Google it. I did claim some browser. I claimed the browser name, theuntoldSitcom.com, and then I got Squarespace. I am not sponsored by them, but I'm gonna whenever this short story is completely done and I'm working on the second short story that is going to be in the same universe with the same people, I'll reward myself with web design. The person who has never done it, will reward myself. So the janitor project, it is the janitors, period. You cannot forget the punctuation. It's very important. Is there a reason for it? Absolutely not, but it's the most important thing of the whole story. The janitors is going to be my first attempt at serializing my work. What does that mean, Ruthie? It's essentially like a webcomic before a novel. I think I asked this on TikTok a long time ago. Now I'm starting to do it, but with a story idea that I'm really passionate about that doesn't actually drain me all that much. I have other story ideas that I'm working on that I think would also be good for serializing. Funny thing about that is those are all really depressing because I like horror. This is fun. Not really horror, but it is horror, you know? Fun. Hooray. So I will likely just release it short story at a time. Short story is probably going to be like, it's too long to be a chapter, but too short to be its own book. So I'll just slap them all together. It's going to be a good time. You see, I'm really good at selling things. Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done talking because I am just going to keep rambling. I like talking to you, so I'm just going to keep rambling, and I will never shut up. Anyway, hey, thanks for hanging out with me and listening to me talk about literally nothing because I am not a professional and I can't tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. You can edit it however you want. By the way, just so you know, you can edit however you want. Don't let anybody tell you that there's only one way to edit or only one way to write, because hear me out, there's not. There's not. Is there the generally accepted rule that you should know the rules before you break them? Of course. However, don't fucking listen to anybody. As long as you're doing the thing, you'll get better at it eventually. It's the reason why I love people who make like fan art and fan fiction and stuff like that. Like, you are actively honing your craft. Like, there's a reason why fan fiction authors will eventually become actual authors. Like, even though fan fiction authors are real authors, do not fight me on that because I will clock you in the face. Fan fiction authors are authors. But when they become published authors, there's a reason. It's because they practiced a lot and got kind of good at it. And now they sell books. Pretty cool. By the way, I stream on Twitch. We're playing Oblivion in this day and year 4/17/2020, year of our Lord 2022, not 2020. Don't ever go back to 2020. Oh my god. Hey, I have a Patreon. That Patreon, all of it just goes to Pika, who makes my life so much easier. And yeah, go support them. Go to my Patreon to support them. I will likely, for Patreon's going to be where you're going to get the first look into the short story. Probably at the beginning of May is where I'm going to show the intro to it. So if at the beginning of May, you have to be a Patreon to get the intro at the beginning of May. And then in June and July, we'll see where I'm at. I would like to have this released by summer. That's a much more realistic goal for me. Will it? Who knows? I'm gonna let you go now. If you have anything you want me to talk about it in the comments below. I'm reading a fan fiction. I've read a fan fiction. Oh my god, should I talk about the fan fiction I read? I need to read it again. I don't know if I want to do that. It's a Hermione and Snape fanfiction by the same person who did Manacled. I don't know if you want me to, but if you do, it'll take one person to want me to. So if Pika, if you come at me and you want me to talk about it, I'll do it. Anyway, if you guys want any ideas of anything for me to talk about, because I will just keep choosing random topics until you find something you want me to talk about. Leave it in the comments, like, subscribe, all of that random ass YouTuber shit people do. You can do that. You can do all of that. I would really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. You should go watch Wendigoon. Wendigoon's a YouTuber I'm super into right now. They do horror stuff. Like, they did a complete breakdown of Five Nights at Freddy's, which was very fun to listen to. But they also do breakdowns of ARGs and other some suches that are all over the internet that you'll never get around to. You should watch them. Like the National Flesh Pit. Or the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. He has a breakdown of that, which is super cool. I'm gonna buy merch for that one. That one's super cool. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. I keep rambling. It's because I haven't talked to you guys in so long. I'm so sorry. Anyway, bye. See you later. Bye. Thank you, Pika. I am a pile of dirt with a flower growing out of it.